this is an important video because we are leading up to the Houston Marathon this weekend. So in this video, I want to take you along on a full week's journey and process of getting prepared for a marathon. Now, I'm going to be walking you through my recovery, my eating, my workouts, my packing, my travel, all of the things that get you ready for a marathon. So if you're new here, I'm Ryan. I'm a 47-year-old average runner trying to do something not so average. I'm looking to qualify for Boston in 2026. In order to do that, I've got to cut over 37 minutes off of my marathon best pace so far, which is a 3:47. I got to drop down to a 3:10. Now, this weekend, my goal is to run a 3:30. Gets me on pace to drop all the way down. So let's go on the journey to prepare for a marathon. All right, today is Monday, which if you've been following the channel for a while, you know that Monday is my day off from running, and so I focus in on recovery. We'll be going to the gym today to focus in on recovery, which today will be a massage chair and some red light therapy. Now, I know a lot of people like to use saunas and cold plunges, but I would suggest personally not using those the week leading up to your marathon because they're pretty harsh on the nervous system, and you really want to get your nervous system down and settled the week before and leading up to the marathon because you're already going to be nervous and antsy, and so doing things that help calm the nervous system and get them back down level is going to be really important. So if you're going to use those, you want to make sure they're early in the week, Monday, Tuesday, to get them out of the way and then allow your body to recover from those throughout the rest of the week. Now, after the gym, I'll be heading to the chiropractor to continue my adjustments to help my hip get level because my right foot tends to be a little bit shorter because my hip is off. And so I want to make sure that I'm as level as possible and adjusted as much as possible before the race. Coming off of 2 weeks of vacation and travel, so it's been a little while since I got adjusted. There's going to be a big adjustment, I'm sure, when I go there today.
Okay. Okay. Good.
Holy smokes.
No joke.
Oh, that was big.
Yes, it was. You needed that one.
That like
All the
shot
way up.
way up.
Mm-hmm.
Whoa.
How are you feeling about like my legs?
Your leg lengths were way better than what they had been,
Okay.
which is promising, especially since you've been traveling too. You know, we haven't. It's been what, 2.5 weeks, 3 weeks since I've seen you. So between that and traveling, the fact that you weren't like way off was huge.
Okay.
So you moved really well though. You're all even. So
All right.
I feel really confident with you doing this.
It's
It's gonna
good.
be awesome.
All right, so a good source of protein for the week is going to be some Kodiak protein balls. So let's go ahead and make these. So it's going to be 1/3 cup of honey, 1/3 cup of water, and 3/4 cup of peanut butter. We use organic, creamy peanut butter. All right, now you're going to pour in the mix. And now you just mix it all up into a big ball. And then from there, you make little tiny balls. All right, now that it's all mixed up good, now you're just gonna make the small individual ones. All right, now that they're all individually made, now you're gonna just cover these suckers up, put in the refrigerator for overnight is good, and then tomorrow morning, we're ready to go. Get yourself some protein bites with some good carbs as well. Good snack for this week when you just want to get some really quick protein, some really quick carbs, just in between meetings or as you're running around throughout the day. This is a really good way to get some good energy in for this week. Today is Tuesday and we've got some speed work on the schedule today. It's about 7 miles of some marathon pace, some interval speed work. And I'm not going to say that Tuesday is the most important day of the week, but it is a really important day because it's your last chance to get some speed work in. So you've already built your fitness throughout the last few months of training, but today is your last chance to get that speed work in, to get the fast twitch muscles going, to build the confidence that you can hit those marathon paces. And so really want to make sure that you take today's workout really serious and get in there and really get after it. All right, we're wrapping up a 15-minute warm-up, just an easy pace warm-up, and then gonna head into 2 miles at marathon pace. Get the legs moving, see what it feels like. Remind the body, remind the legs that we got marathon pace in there. And then we'll do some speed work after that. All right, just wrapped up 2 miles at marathon pace. Mile 1 was about 7:19, and mile 2 was about 7:13. And so now I'm gonna go into 1 mile of easy pace, and then we're gonna hit 2 800s at about a 6:50 pace, and then we'll have a cool down. The legs right now are feeling really good, nice and recovered. Some of my nagging aches that I've built up over the last couple months of running are going away, which is exactly what you want during the week of taper, is just to allow the body to recover a little extra from some of those things that you've just been running on. So feeling good, excited to get going here. All right, just wrapped up 1 mile easy, and now we're gonna head into the 2 800s. But one thing that I always struggle with on taper week is mental toughness, because taper week you're lowering the miles and keeping the intensity high but lowering the mileage. And so in my mind I'm always like, man, this should be easy, I shouldn't be trying hard, this shouldn't be hard, but it's always hard. So mentally it can be a little bit tough because I feel like it should be easy. We're tapering, right? We're lowering the mileage, but we're keeping the intensity. And so it's still hard, especially on Tuesday when you're doing that speed work. So keep the mental toughness high and fight for it, because it's still hard even though you're tapering, getting ready. All right, just wrapped up the 2 800s. I ran each of those about a 6:48 pace. Again, pushing hard. So the intensity is high, but the volume is low. So instead of doing like 7 of those during my build, doing 2 of those during taper week. So again, keeping intensity high, but lowering volume is what we're looking for on taper week. But those were tough, still tough. Now I've got 2 minutes recovery, and then we got, I think it's 10 or 15 minutes of easy pace cool down. And then we enjoy easy pace miles the rest of the week, because the hardest part of the week is done. Let's go. All right, so after my run, came home, had some breakfast, 3 eggs with some sourdough toast. And then I let the puppies out, got some new puppies for Christmas, so I gotta let them out to go to the bathroom. And now I am headed over to Stretch U to get a myofascia massage and stretch, get the legs nice and ready for hard effort this weekend. Now, I'd encourage you to do stuff like that early in the week, to allow your legs and your body time to recover from a deep tissue massage like that. It's gonna take some time for your legs to recover and get back. So do that early. So doing that Tuesday, yesterday, Monday, went to the chiropractor. Again, giving myself some time to recover from the adjustments on the body. There, and then like right here as well.
Okay, I'm sure I'll find it.
Yeah.
Back strength and scapular strength for that. That's a lot.
All right, welcome to Wednesday. Today we're going to be heading to the gym to do some stretching, mobility work, as well as some light body weight workouts. You don't want to be doing heavy workouts during this week. You want to just keep the body warm, keep it loose, keep it moving, but not straining the body by lifting heavy. Then we're going to be doing a 30-minute run just to, again, get some miles in, keep the legs moving for the last time this week. And then we'll have 2 days off before the Saturday shakeout run. All right, so on this run, you're wanting to make sure to go nice and easy. I'm just trying to keep the legs activated, warmed up, stretched out. You're not trying to go marathon pace here. You're not trying to get intensity here. You're just getting the legs to keep moving, keep warmed up, because this will be the last run. Wednesday is the last run. Then Thursday, Friday are no running days. And then Saturday, we'll do our 3-mile shakeout run. So this is just getting the blood moving, muscles moving, legs moving. No marathon tempo work today. Enjoy the miles. On these kind of runs, it's tempting to go super fast and get after it because it's only 30 minutes and your legs are fresh because you've been tapering for a while. But don't do it. Don't stretch your body to that limit. Let it rest. Trust the tapering process. You're going to be able to get speed back when you get to the marathon day. Don't worry, it's there. It's already there. You don't need to build new fitness. You're just maintaining body movement, heart rate, all that stuff. Don't be tempted into going fast. Today we will be starting our 4 days of carb loading. All right, so today's Wednesday, so I'm gonna do about 500 grams of carbs. Then Thursday, I will do about 600 grams of carbs. Friday, I will do about 700 to 750. And then Saturday, I'm gonna drop back down to about 600. That way on Friday is my biggest day, and then it allows me to be a little bit lower on Saturday so I don't feel as bloated and stuffed going into the run. Now, one of the questions that I always ask is, how do people keep track of all their carbs? So the way that I do it is I use my Zepp app, which is connected to my Helio strap, which is like a Whoop or an Oura Ring, something like that, but it's connected to an app, keeps track of all of my carbs, my protein, and my fats for the day. And so I just put in the food. I can take pictures of the food, I can take pictures of the label, or I can even just talk into the app to tell them what I'm eating, and it'll track it for me. So that's the way I do it. On a typical day, because I'm doing marathon training, I typically will do around 450 carbs. So again, today is not that much of a jump, but I'm gonna build over time. I'd encourage you to get MyFitnessPal. It's a free app that'll track all of your food if you don't have something that's connected to like a watch or something like that. Here are a couple of my go-to carb sources that are outside of the usual food, like rice, potatoes, pizza, things like that. But these are just kind of more of like snack things that you can use to get in those extra carbs, because it's pretty tough to get 700 grams of carbs without using some of these. So one of them is Rice Krispie Treats. So I'll use these. This particular one is like a snack size, and so it's only 17 grams of carbs. So I typically, when we get closer, I'll get kind of bigger ones. But right now, I'm just at like, 500. So I can use these pretty easily. Also, really good source I use often is pretty much every day is homemade sourdough bread. So this is going to be a great one, but when I need extra carbs, I'll snack on this throughout the day as well. And then using liquids, so like G1M Sport or Gatorade or Powerade or something like that to get in some extra carbs through just your regular drinking, some kind of electrolyte mix. Some kind of a carb source like a Go bar is going to be good. And if all else fails, you can always go to just taking a gel and get in those carbs really quick. So these are a couple of things that I'm using to just kind of snack on throughout the day. But also, like I said, rice, potatoes, pizza, those are always great for your meals and getting those in. Another great way to get in your carbs is to drink them. So a Dr. Pepper has 40 grams of carbs. If you don't want the caffeine, you can go over to a Sprite. This has, I think, 38 grams. And also great sources are orange juice, apple juice, or making a smoothie that's full of berries and bananas, all this kind of stuff. So drinking your carbs is a great way to get extra in. All right, welcome to Thursday. Today we got a couple important things to take care of. One, relaxing, stretching, light workout, recovery type efforts. And then we've got 600 grams of carbs to take in today. So lots of Rice Krispie treats, orange juice, even some Sprite, and getting in the carbs as much as possible, trying to get in that 600 category again. And then the fun part, preparing what we're gonna wear for the marathon. So a couple of things. One, hopefully you've been practicing this in different temperatures. So you kind of know what you need to wear if it's 70 degrees, 50 degrees, 30 degrees. And practicing what you wear, gloves, long pants, hoodies, beanies, all those kinds of things, no shirt, shorts, all the different things based on different weather. So hopefully you've been practicing that because you want to know what is going to be comfortable in the race. So this weekend in Houston, it looks like it's going to be prime weather, probably in the high 40s, even mid 50s. So prime running weather. But last year it dropped almost 20 to 30 degrees the night before. And so we had a dramatic weather change overnight. So you want to know what to wear. So for me, I will probably be wearing shorts. I'll probably start with some kind of a hoodie or something like that on, and then toss that throughout the race. But you want to know, so in 30 degrees, what do you typically wear? Also, getting lots of things that are throwaways. So that's what I'm here at the thrift store getting is my throwaways. So for me, I like to buy a throwaway for before the race. So what I've landed on is a robe. So I've tried lots of different things, but for me, a robe is really great because it goes over everything. It's long, it covers a lot of things, and stays warm, but it's super easy to throw off when you're in the corral about to get started. You don't want to be messing around with pulling things off, taking your shoes off, all those kinds of things. So a robe is super fast and easy. If you're gonna wear something like pants, you gotta make sure that you cut the legs so that they can be pulled off with shoes on really easily. Hoodies, all those kinds of things can get a little bit complicated, so you want to be careful with those. Now, I've also done races where it's really windy or maybe it's wet, and in those cases, I'll wear a trash bag, cut out holes for my arms to go through just to protect myself from the wind and the wet air. So think through what it looks like to be in the corral ahead of time, because sometimes you're in there for 30, 40 plus minutes. Some of these races, you might be in a waiting area for an hour or 2 hours ahead of the race. And so you want to make sure you've got plenty of layers to stay warm before you even get started. And then you typically are going to want to think layers throughout the run to get rid of stuff. I will typically wear my bib on my shorts. So that way I can do whatever I need to do on the top layer, hoodies, jackets, throw away all of those, and not miss out on my bib being shown throughout the race. So instead of wearing it on my chest on these colder runs where I know I've got multiple layers, I will typically wear it on my shorts. Also, I almost always in the winter have multiple layers of throwaway gloves. And so just really think through these throwaways. What you don't want to do is to be stuck with wearing really warm clothes all the way through. So I've got a competition with my coach as to who can get the best robe for the Houston Marathon. So I'm going to show you a photo, some video of her and I want you to vote in the comments. CT for my coach or Ryan for me. I want to see the votes. Who has the best robe? Welcome to Friday. It's getting very close to the marathon and it's getting pretty excited here. So this morning I woke up, went to the gym, did some mobility work, some stretch work, and then came home and just been working all day. But now is the fun part. Now it's time to pack. So the first thing we do is we got to go through all of our supplements here for the race. So I got to turn all of these powders and gels and bars into a race packet that we're going to take with us to Houston. So let's get after it. All right, so the way I like to do it is I like to put all my different stuff out here. So I've got G1M Sport for my drink, got Go bars for my pre-race, got the Go gels for during the race, we've got the Carb fuel for the race, and we've got maple syrup for the race. I like to bring some variety because when you're out there for that long, taking that many gels, it's good to have a little bit of variety in terms of just flavor, texture, that kind of stuff. Keep it a little bit fresh while you're out there. And then also I've got some protein here for kind of the day before leading up to it. And then we've got some nitric oxide booster here. This is going to help our lactic acid not have as much effect on our muscles while we're running. And then we've got salt tablets here. That's going to help obviously keep our salt intake high while we're running. So we're going to turn all of this into our race packets to know exactly what we need when we need it. So the way I like to do it is to get out sticky notes and put out here pre. So what are we going to do before the race? First hour, the second hour, third hour over here. We're going to run a 3:30, so just a little bit of extra over here. So we need 90 carbs in each one of these categories. And then we're going to go through and put our nitric oxide booster and our salt tablets on them as well. And I'm going to try something new this time. I'm going to try taping my salt tablets to my gel packet, so that way I don't have to carry another thing or have another thing to think about while I'm running. They're just already there for me as I lay them out now before. So before the race, I like to have a Go bar. I like to have a bagel with some peanut butter on it, and I like to have some G1M Sport, and typically I will take a non-caffeinated gel in the corral right before we get started to set this whole thing into motion. All right, pre on here. Okay, we also need to add our nitric oxide booster. Just a few in there. So now, let's lay out the rest with 90 grams per hour. All right, so we got it all laid out. So we've got our pre here with our Go bar, our G1M Sport nitric oxide booster, Go gel here, and then we've got hour one. We've got 40 grams of G1M Sport. We've got 2 gels with our salt tab. They're gonna go into bottle number 1 on my left side. Then we've got hour 2, again, 40 grams going into my bottle on my right side. Then we've got a pure maple syrup, and we've got a Go gel with caffeine as well as a salt tab. Then we also like to carry some pain tabs. So this is ibuprofen for when we are feeling some pain around mile 18. I typically take one of these just proactively even before I feel pain. And then for the last half, I will carry some more maple syrup, and I will take an extra gel just in case if I need one extra while we're out there. And typically at marathons, they hand out gels, Gatorade, things like that throughout. So if I need something on course, I can grab that as well. But I like to have everything that I need with me so I know that I have exactly the right amounts of what I need, because you never know how much a volunteer is going to put in their Gatorade powder, but I know that this is 40 grams. So I know that if I finish this, I know that I get my 90 grams. So I'm not leaving anything up for question. So this is why I do it this way. A lot of people do it differently, but this is how I set this up. Now I'm gonna pack all this up into bundles and then I'm gonna put that in my suitcase and we'll be ready to roll. So I started this new tradition that before a marathon, I go ahead and shave off my beard and just go with the stash, because everybody knows that mustaches make you much faster. All right, so another big reason why I do this and why I wear the robe before the race is to remind myself to have fun and enjoy this time, enjoy this process, have some fun with myself, have some fun with the group, and just remember that this is a privilege. This is a fun thing, because I get pretty nervous and pretty detailed, and there's so many different parts I'm trying to figure out. And so it's just a reminder to have fun, relax. This is a hobby, and enjoy the process. And so having the mustache, yes, it makes me feel like I'm going fast, but also it's just a great reminder to have fun and enjoy the whole thing. All trimmed up because the stash is fast. All right, it is Saturday morning and we are headed to the airport to head down to Houston to meet up with the running crew. We're gonna be doing our shakeout run this morning, expo, carb load, and get ready. Now, I would not recommend this strategy of going in the day before the run. I would definitely recommend going in on Friday. That gives you time to get all your travel out of the way, some time to just relax mentally, physically, before you have to get up and go for the run. But this time it just worked out for what needed to happen with work and home stuff here. So my airport breakfast, a couple yogurts, got about 26 grams of protein here, and then our first Gatorade for the day. Working on 600 grams of carbs today, but making sure to get our protein in as well. Here we are, shakeout run with the crew. So we're running down here. This is the last couple miles of the race, and it's got some rolling hills, and so our coaches are walking us through strategy, making sure we pump our arms, make sure we save some for this last couple miles. It's great to have a coach that knows what they're doing and walking you through all the steps of the process. All right, so we just finished up the shakeout run with the crew. Got in about 3.5 miles and then 4 strides. And then we went over to have breakfast. Had a couple breakfast tacos that got me some good carbs. And now we're heading over to the expo to get checked in, get our bib, and get all ready. And then we're gonna get our feet up and hang out. One of the big goals for Saturday is to get your feet up, not a lot of walking. I know you're in a new town, checking out the area, but you want to try and get off your feet as much as possible and just relax. All right, just finished up lunch with the crew. I had some brisket with white rice and some broccoli, and then just went to the store and I got some Gatorade that I will be drinking, as well as some little protein shake. Alright, I had the opportunity to just kind of relax, hang out, take a little nap, watch a little football, and now we're heading to dinner. So getting on the Uber, we're gonna go get some food. For me, if you watch the channel, you know I'm gonna be eating pizza tonight. So let's see how the pizza is here at this place.
That's BQ pizza right there.
There it is. That's BQ pizza right there.
Y'all running a marathon.
After some great pizza and time with the team, we're gonna Uber back to the hotel where we're gonna set out all of our gear, get ready for the morning, and then get to bed early. Got to rest up for the marathon tomorrow. All right, thanks for watching, guys. Can't wait to see you again on the next one. All right, here we go, meeting up with the crew in the lobby to get ready.
Ryan, come on.
Let's go, let's go, let's go, let's go.